Hey guys, happy Easter. I hope you're having a great weekend, celebrating. If you've got kids, having fun doing the Easter hunt and all that good stuff. Today we're going to talk about how you can use Easter to build your business, to get into Autumn's group and all that good stuff. There's something fantastic about an extra reason to be able to reach out to somebody. So first of all, I'm going to start off by talking about people who you have invited or recently reached out to who have not been replying to you, that kind of thing. Or even if they've seen the message and not replied to you, like that. Because sometimes we have that happen and we're like, why aren't they replying to us? And sometimes we take it personally, but the majority of people, if they see your post or your direct message and they're not reconnecting with you, most of the time it's because they saw your message, but they were like cooking dinner or in the middle of something and they're like, oh, I'll reply later, and they forgot. That's it. That is the majority of the times that's happened. The other times can be maybe they feel like you came on a little strong. Maybe they didn't want to say no and hurt your feelings, so they just didn't say anything. That's a possibility too. Either way, this is going to be a way to reestablish that just day-to-day conversation to get stuff going. This is also something you can use to just spark up a conversation from nowhere. This is just an easy way to reach out to people. If you're somebody who is always nervous about reaching out to people, this is it. This is easy. This makes it a little bit simpler. So, what we're going to do is you're going to go through your friends list and you're going to message people. Happy Easter. I hope you're having a wonderful weekend. What are you doing to celebrate? That easy. That's all we're sending them. We are not sending them an invite in that message. We are just saying, Happy Easter. What are you doing to celebrate? That is the message, because we need to reestablish connection with people. Doesn't matter whether there's somebody you talk to regularly or there's somebody you haven't talked to in a long time. That message gives you the ability to just break the ice. What are you doing this weekend? They're going to tell you, they're going to ask you what you're doing. You're going to tell them what you're up to. That opens up dialogue so that you can go further in the conversation. Somebody you haven't talked to in a long time, you can catch up. You should catch up. You should never dive right into an invite. Somebody you haven't talked to in a long time. We are building relationships. It's very important. So you're going to get that going. If it's somebody you have recently invited, you can, after you get that conversation going, hey, I'm not sure if you saw my last message, but I've just been really loving 80-Day Obsession. It's been changing my life so much, and I've really had fun doing it. I'm doing another round, and I thought maybe you'd want to join me. You can throw that out there. Again, I really recommend at least get them talking for a few minutes, what they're up to, how their family's doing, how work's going, how life's going. Get that out there, because show a genuine interest in them. They're gonna then be more receptive to talking about your offer to join them. Now, one thing I have mentioned before, and I'm gonna bring it up again, often it can really help to ease people in with a free program. Clean Week. Sometimes if they've never tried Beachbody before or home fitness or fitness at all, jumping in for 80-Day Obsession is like not gonna happen because they don't know what to expect. They're like, this is a lot of money, and will I like it, and will I be able to do it? And they've got a lot of fears. That's the main thing. They have a lot of fears. And I want you to think back to before you started fitness and before you started Beachbody. And what were the things that you maybe thought about it? Maybe you did get invited to try out Beachbody by a coach. Put yourself back in those shoes and think about, what questions did I have? What fears did I have? Was I concerned about stuff? Think about that and realize that that's how they're going to feel as well. So sometimes breaking the ice a little bit more gently can be a really great way to go. One of the things I'm going to highly recommend to you is because we've got this great period we got 3 weeks before we're jumping into 80-Day Obsession again. Freaking awesome, because we have a lot of invitation time available to us right now. So my suggestion for you guys is to spend the next week inviting for Clean Week, and then the week after that diving really hardcore into inviting for 80-Day Obsession. Now that might make you feel like, oh my gosh, I'm giving up a full week of inviting for 80-Day Obsession. it's not necessarily the case, because some people you talk to, you know they're going to be ready for 80-day obsession. So you do have to pick and choose a little bit. But in terms of what you're posting on your wall a little bit, we're going to throw out some Clean Week invitations. So you're going to, and write this down, get a piece of paper and a pen, write down these dates. So what we're going to do is you're going to run a Clean Week group from April 9th to the 15th. Right on the next day, the Monday, you're going to do a 5-day Little Obsessed. And then the next week, we're diving into the full 80-day obsession program. Do you see the progression I have going here? They're going from a free group, falling in love with that Clean Week, falling in love with the process. You're going to encourage them during that time to try a Little Obsessed with you, because you know how much it's freaking awesome, and they're going to love 80-day obsession. So they're going to dive into that. They can get the Beachbody On Demand 14-day free trial to try a Little Obsessed. I guarantee you guys, once they're like 2 or 3 days into a Little Obsessed, they're going to be ordering their challenge packs because it's so freaking great. So you're going to be doing that. You're going to get that group going. Then, boom, we go right into 80-day obsession. So it's just this natural progression from free to paid, and it gets them used to this group experience, to getting results, to eating healthy foods, to realizing that they can do it, to seeing how amazing coach support is, how amazing the group support is, and to falling in love with that process, because it's just that bridging of the gap for the people that have never tried it before. If you've got current customers who've done programs before, great. Straight up invite them to 80-day obsession. If you've got people who are asking questions about 80-day obsession, invite them to 80-day obsession. And if they're on the fence, say, hey, join me for a Clean Week. I'm going to give it to you for free. See if you can get through that 1 week. Let's just do 1 week before we jump into committing for a 80-day program. And they're going to feel a lot more at ease that way. It is just building them up to be able to do it. They need that confidence, and we have to instill that in them. So the reason I'm recommending this is because I know a lot of coaches go out there and you're like, oh, join me for 80-day obsession. It's going to be amazing. And I got these amazing results the first time, and I know you can do this, and we're going to do great. And they're just so overly intimidated by it that they say no, and then you feel like you can't go anywhere with them. So while you're inviting to 80-day obsession, if they're on the fence, chuck them into that Clean Week group so that they can just try out one of our programs and see what it's like to be in a challenge group first. So that's going to be really important. One thing you can do, because we're talking about, okay, how are we using Easter? Okay, that's what we're doing in the initial time when we're talking to people. We're going to go, hey, happy Easter. Hope you're having a great weekend. What's going on? We lead into that progression of inviting them to one of those groups. Like I said, you can start off inviting them to 80-day obsession, and then if they're on the fence, get them to try Clean Week just to get them to try something instead of saying, oh, well, they said no. That can be really important. So with that in mind, Easter, people are indulging in, turkeys and hams and chocolate and all these things, yummy, tasty treats. But we're at this beautiful kind of cross of the year that really come like Monday, Tuesday, they're going to feel a little bit guilty about indulging in everything. And they're going to start thinking about, oh crap, it's bathing suit season soon. So people are starting to think about these things this time of year. That gives you a really nice leveraging point when you're talking about stuff. So one thing I did today, really simple thing you can do. Go on your timeline and you're just gonna like put a short little tagline, Happy Easter, my gift to you, ... And then you're gonna do a live video. It can be just like 2 minutes long. Hey guys, happy Easter. I hope you're having an amazing day celebrating with your family. I wanted to give you all a gift to get ready for summer. I know Easter's amazing. We enjoy all this wonderful time with family and we enjoy all these foods, but summer's coming up and we all want to not have to cover up in the summer months. So what I'm doing is I'm going to be giving everybody a free program with a free nutrition program. You're going to get one-on-one coaching with me and group support for free. But this is only for the first 50 people that get in touch with me, because I want to make sure that I can help every single one of you one-on-one so you get the best results possible. I know this is something that everybody wants to work on this time of year, so get a head start. We're going to work on it together, and I'm looking forward to helping you get those results. Something simple like that. See, that only took like a minute, right? You can word it your own way, however you are. Everybody's different the way we talk. Do it your own way, but that's the gist. So when I talk about Clean Week being free, I want to clarify this so everybody's on the same page. If somebody signs up for a free Team Beachbody account, they get access to Clean Week workouts. That's what I'm talking about. This is for anybody who gets a free Team Beachbody account. This does not require them to get the Beachbody On Demand free trial. Clean Week is unlocked. You need to be able to give them the link for a free account. Some people don't know where this is. Coach Codes is where you go. Google Coach Codes. It's going to be the very first hit that comes up. You punch in your coach ID, you hit submit, and it populates all of the links. There's links for every kind of program in there, the supplements, registration links, which means like signing up for a free account, that kind of thing. They're all there. It's the most handy tool ever. It's something you can just grab anytime you need to give a link to somebody. So you're going to go to Coach Codes, punch in your coach ID, and then go to registration and grab the free membership link, and you give that to them. And at the top of the page, you can click what country they're in to give them the right link to sign up. So once they do that, they get the free workout access. You're just going to walk them through how you find it on Beachbody On Demand. And the great thing about that is they have to go into Beachbody On Demand to get to Clean Week. So they see all of the other programs there. They all show up as locked, but they're still like really intriguing to see all those programs there. So as you get into Clean Week, further in that week, you can start talking about like, what's next? I know you guys have been seeing all these amazing programs that are in there with Clean Week. There are so many other amazing workouts that you can try out. And then you can introduce the idea of Beachbody On Demand. Definitely tell them how amazing 80-Day Obsession is, because I know that's where we want everybody to go. It's not going to be what everybody's going to do, because some people are going to go, oh, I want to try Insanity. That looks amazing. That's fine. But you want to share how passionate and excited you are about doing 80-Day Obsession again, because that's going to be the big one. And when you share your passion about that, share results from this group, share what other people have done, the success stories, they're going to be excited about that too, so that you probably will have 80% of the people wanting to do 80-Day Obsession with you. So that's going to lead into that. Do a breakdown of the comparison on cost when we're talking about Beachbody On Demand. One of the best things that you can do is break down the cost of getting the year subscription versus like the challenge pack versus the quarterly, because this just gives you this beautiful presentation. I have a graphic for this I will post in the comments when we're done here. But basically, if somebody got Beachbody On Demand quarterly, it's $40 every 3 months, $160 a year. If they get the challenge pack, they get a full year of Beachbody On Demand. They get a 30-day bag of Shakeology, and they get the Portion Fix for $160. So it's like getting Shakeology and the Portion Fix for free. It's a no freaking brainer. That's the way to present it, so that the challenge pack is like, duh, I'd get the freaking challenge pack, because I'm not stupid. I'm not going to burn my freaking money, because they're getting the same thing, but they're getting more. So that's how I present it, right? So it's like, kind of like saying you'd be kind of stupid to get the quarterly. Like, it's almost like saying like you really need to be in some kind of weird position with your finances to not go for the challenge pack. When you do that with a visual, and that's why I say I have a graphic for this that I post, it just makes it so they're like, oh, okay, of course I get the challenge pack. It would be stupid of me not to get the challenge pack. So that is why I present it that way. When we're going for the 80-Day Obsession, you could change up this graphic. It's $20 more than going for the quarterly, and then they're getting all of that stuff we already talked about, the Shakeology and the Portion Fix, but they're also getting the equipment for 80-Day Obsession. It would be cheaper than it would be to go and get those, like the sliders and the bands at Walmart. So they're of course going to just upgrade the extra $20 to get the 80-Day Obsession. Just makes sense. So these are the things to come across with when we're talking to them. I talked about this last night in my last video, but guys, you got to be really confident about the price. And I really encourage you, do a search. If you're in a really small town, do the closest city to you. But I want you to look up, what would it cost to get a basic membership at a gym? And what does that give them? What does that give somebody at that gym? And it will have a breakdown of what's included in the gym membership. But let's say, like on average, a really cheap gym membership is $20 a month. And $20 a month, that's less than $1 a day. It's $240 a year. You can get Beachbody On Demand for the full year, plus Shakeology, plus the Portion Fix, plus equipment for $160. So if I can save $80 and get free supplements and get a personal coach and get a support group and get better results and get a meal plan, like, do you see what I'm saying here? It's cheaper and they are getting so much more for their value. It really is something where you got to go, oh, okay. I know after Christmas, I saw like one gym around here was having like a $10 a month promotion. So $120 a year, but they're getting like nothing for that. It's like, okay, I can go run on a freaking treadmill, or if I'm smart enough and I know how to lift weights, I could do that. You know what I mean? Like, they don't get any help with that. They're not getting a personal trainer with that. They're not getting free supplements with that. They're not getting a nutrition plan with that. They're not getting a support group with that. You just, people don't even go. They get these gym memberships and they don't even go. So what we do is so important, because this is where people commit. This is where you've got somebody checking in on you. This is where your group is going to go, hey, I wonder where so-and-so went if they're not posting regularly. You know, they're not, the meal plan alone, like getting a meal plan. Because if you went to a gym, you're just getting the gym. That's it. If you want a meal plan, you need to go and get a nutritionist or join Weight Watchers or something like that. That's a whole other expense. We have the whole package. We're the only company that has the whole freaking package. They get the fitness, the nutrition, and the support. Nobody else does that. And you need to be really confident about that. It is something that is so unique to Beachbody. I want you to also think about your experience here in this group and what your coach has done for you. And maybe your coach hasn't done anything for you. I had a coach originally who never even reached out to me. So that's okay. We've all been there. But if you have a coach who works with you regularly, I want you to think about what they've done for you. If you have a coach who you've never even heard from, I want you to think about what service could I provide to somebody that would make their experience just amazing. And it's simple. This isn't hard stuff. You don't have to be a nutritionist or a personal trainer to give good help. You just need to support somebody, which just means checking in on them. Go, hey, how your workouts going? You feeling okay? We have all of these guides in the back office that tell us what we can do. If you haven't been in the Coach Online office much, if you're a brand new coach, I want you to go to the Coach Online office and under Grow My Business, they're the top right-hand cube. I'm trying to think. It's like challenge group stuff. So you click that, and then there's challenge group guides. You literally have something you can post every single day for every single program provided to you. It's something like for 80-day obsession, there are 80 different posts it gives you that you can post in there that are going to encourage your challengers, that are going to answer their questions. You don't have to figure this out on your own. And that's pretty freaking exciting. Hey, Kelsey. Yeah, it's just the value is unbelievable that Beachbody has provided for us. And I always laugh if somebody thinks Beachbody's expensive, because I'm like, yeah, go try a gym and a nutritionist and hiring a personal trainer. And I'm going to spend very little this year. You're going to spend like 30 times what I'm going to spend, at least. So it's something to keep in mind. You probably remember the promotions for 80-day obsession. And this is where Autumn said, if she were to work with somebody one-on-one to provide this nutrition plan and the exercises at the gym, it would be a $2,500 value. Now, guys, they're getting all of that plus the supplements, plus the equipment, plus a coach. And it's not just for 3 months. They get the whole freaking year Beachbody On Demand. So that value is just insane. So once you get that into your head, it is so easy to talk people past the price objection. It just is. You have so much confidence that you can say, hey, I know it's an upfront cost. I know the gym's going to only charge you $20 a month, but the gym is going to cost you more at the end of the year. You're not going to get the same value. You're not going to be, seeing the same results, and you're not going to have the support or the nutrition, and they sure as heck aren't going to give you a free month of supplements. And, it's something we say in the most polite and generous and kind way possible, but it's just breaking it down because people don't think this through. That might have been something you've never thought through before, is the comparison. And this is where we need to be there to educate people. I've had coaches tell me before, oh no, people are smart. People are really smart. They know that. I'm not saying they don't know that, but sometimes they need a reminder. I need a reminder sometimes that this value is outrageously good. And I've had people go, I hadn't thought about it that way before. That really is actually pretty freaking amazing. And then they make that decision. So people are smart. I'm not saying people aren't smart, but sometimes we see the big price tag and we don't break things down. And it's really important that we do that to know what's happening. It's just like if somebody goes to, one of those big box furniture events and they're like, oh, you can pay it off in monthly installments. And if you don't look into it, a lot of the times they're charging you such high interest rates that you ended up paying an extra 20%. So sometimes it really pays off to pay up front. And what I tell people, if they're like really concerned about it, they're living like paycheck to paycheck or debt or whatever, put it on your credit card. You don't have to pay it off all at once. You could pay it off $40 this month, $40 next month, etc., until it's paid off, so that it's not something it's a big upfront expense if that's something that's really concerning to you. And that's something that can just help people out. The other thing is, be very open about talking about the coach opportunity. You don't have to tell them like, oh, you're a coach and you're going to help people or whatever. Talk about it as a referral program. That makes it a lot less intimidating, because sometimes the coach title is very intimidating to people. So you can be like, hey, I get it. I know I used to, share your experience. Maybe you used to be really broke too. So you can share that. Like, I know, like when we were really struggling with money, I had to watch every penny that was going out the door. And one thing that's really helped, alleviate the expenses in my house has been being a coach and just inviting people to join me to do this workout program. It's a lot of fun, and it covered the cost of my own program. So if you can think of 3 friends that want to join you for this, your own program is going to be free. And the best part is it's so much more fun to do this with the people you love and to share that experience. Put it like that. If you can share it like that, people are like, wow, I hadn't thought about that. And that actually sounds kind of fun. And it would be fun to do this with the people I love and share that. And that just gets the conversation rolling. So these are things that you need to be aware of. I talked a lot about objections last night. They're not a bad thing. Somebody being scared about not having enough time, not enough money. These are good signs that they're interested. If somebody says no, that's a different story. They're not like, I'm not interested. Cool, I get it. It's not for everybody. If you happen to think of anybody who might be interested in joining me, please let me know. I'm just really dedicated to helping people get on track with their health and fitness and changing their lives for the better. Maybe you'll get some referrals out of that. That's not something to be worried about. And a no right now is not a no forever. When somebody says no, they often then start creeping your page, and then you'll hear from them a little while down the road to go, you know what, the timing wasn't right, but I'm ready now. Or you might reach out to them 6 months from now and go, hey, I know the timing wasn't right for you. Use whatever was going on, because some people, they'll tell you, I'm having a stressful time at work and I just don't want to take anything else on. Perfect. You can reach out. Hey, I remember 6 months ago, it was just really a bad time for you with all this stuff happening at work. Just want to let you know, I've got this new group coming up and you came to mind. I would love to do this with you. And that opens up the door for down the road. I have had people who come to me like, all these years after I became a coach who finally are ready, who finally are like, you know what, I've been seeing you do this all this time and it's so inspiring and I think I'm ready to get going. And this is something you got to be aware of. It's not an overnight thing for everybody. You can open the door, but they are the ones to walk through it. So you need to just take yourself out of the equation. They're not saying no to you. They're saying no to themselves. It's not the time for them at that point. So that's really, really important to keep in mind. Hey, Tanya. Hi, Jennifer. Oh, good. I'm glad you guys are getting a lot out of this. I think we all need these reminders to not take things personally and to know that this is a process and that it's got to be right for them. Like at the end of the day, this is why we got to talk to 3 to 5 people a day. If you're not talking to a significant amount of people at the end of the month, you're not going to have anybody in your groups. But if you talk to 3 to 5 people a day from today till April 23rd, inviting into the 80-Day Obsession group, you should have at least like 10 to 15 people to join you, at least. It's really a numbers game. It's having that confidence. It's knowing that you can talk them through those objections. Always like write it down, put it on your desk. Feel, felt, found. I talk about this a lot, but it's the ultimate solution to objections. It is just the easiest way to remind yourself, sympathize with understanding how they feel. Let them know that you have felt the same way in the past, explain that experience, and then explain the solution. What you found was fill in the blank so that they see that you've been there and that you found the solution to that problem was XYZ. Maybe you haven't been through that before, but you've seen one of the coaches in this group. There are 43,000 freaking coaches in this group. Somebody has experienced what your prospect has experienced in this freaking group. No doubt. So you will have something you can lean on to talk through. Because I mean, in the past 3 months, we have seen people go through just about everything humanly possible in this group. We've had people traveling, we've had people lose loved ones, we've had people go through divorce, we've had people fighting for child custody, we have had people have significant injuries. So many things have happened that so many people would throw in the towel over, and these people didn't. I mean, talk about strength in this group. Seeing that, you kind of say to yourself, okay, if that person can do it, I can get over my own crap. It's that kind of thing. And this is why the groups are so important. And I think that's something we need to share as well publicly on social media, to be like, guys, like these people empowered me to know that I can do anything, no matter what's happening in my life. I can make this work because it's something that's a choice. And anyway, that's something that we can put in our own words and share what was empowering to us that we've learned from the other people. But I kind of got on a tangent there. I get really passionate about this stuff, guys. I really love helping people with Beachbody because it has changed my life. And I know it's changed your life too. If you're watching this video, you've loved 80-Day Obsession. You freaking kicked ass with 80-Day Obsession. So I know it's something you want to share. I know you want to get into Autumn's group because we all want to be in there. We all want to experience this again. And we're all really excited to learn the next tools and tricks and tips to grow our business. But that starts with making that commitment now. And it's all mindset. You got to tell yourself, I can do this. You got to know you can do this. And you can. You really, really can. There's no reason that everybody in this group can't qualify to get into Autumn's group. Like, you can get into that group. It is one person. You just have to help one freaking person. You can find one person if you commit to talking to 3 to 5 people a day about it. And if you commit to getting over your own fear when their objection comes up and to get excited about it, to do the feel, felt, found, and to work them past that objection, to get them to go, yes, I'll try something. Whether that's, okay, I get it. Like 80-Day Obsession is a big commitment. Work with me for 1 week. I'm going to give you a free program. We're going to work through Clean Week. You're going to get some results. Let's make it through 1 week first, and then we'll revisit the 80-Day Obsession discussion. Will you join me for 1 week? They will, guys. They will. It is something, people want the change. People are scared of the change. You got to remember that's where you were at some point too. We were all there at some point where we weren't quite sure if we were ready, if we could do it. And we were nervous and scared. And taking on an 80-day commitment was like, You might have even felt like 80-day obsession was terrifying in January. So that's just something to be aware of. Hey Beatrix, so it's tricky because everyone I seem to chat with are set their minds that keto is the way to go. Super frustrating, but I'm not giving up. That is good to bring up because keto is kind of like the big fad right now. And it's the thing where we don't want to say like nobody's wrong, right? But here's the thing, like with keto or like, you know, we go through big fads where like all fats are bad or all carbs are bad or whatever, like it happens, right? And making sure that we don't get argumentative when somebody brings that up, because we don't want to go, keto is terrible for you, you should stop doing that, because then they're just going to be like, well, screw you, right? And you know, that's something to bring up. Maybe you've tried keto before and you can go, yeah, I've tried keto before and I had really good results, but I really missed my carbs after a while and I realized it wasn't something I could stick to for life. If you've tried keto and that was your experience, you can share that. If not, you could share that was the experience of some of the people in this group. I'll tell you guys personally, I wasn't really eating grains up until we started this. I wasn't particularly eating keto or paleo or anything like that, but because I wasn't really figuring out how to portion things out right, I was just decided to avoid grains altogether because my body I'm kind of like a mesomorph, if you guys know body types like that. So my body does better with like a higher protein, higher fats, and a lower carb intake. When it comes to, like, if you look at bodybuilding styles and that kind of thing with nutrition. So that was something that I had done. And when 80-day obsession came along, I was nervous to, you know, put grains back into my diet. And it was one of those things where I was like, okay, let's see what happens here. And my body responded beautifully. I was getting better results. My body dropped fat really quickly. Now, the thing about carbs that's great, and something I knew, and something that is just, it's hard to fit in if you don't sit down and work out your nutrition plan, which is why I love Beachbody. They get the professionals to do it for us, is that protein piggybacks on complex carbs. Your body will absorb protein better if you are having complex carbs, but the right quantities. This is why Beachbody has done this for us. They put the containers together. They've, you know, Autumn put together the right amounts to eat at every meal. This is why this works. This is why this is brilliant. So it's just sharing the experience of like, hey, I get it. I know like keto is something that is really popular right now. And I'm not saying it's a bad thing. Maybe ask them, like, do you think it's something you could sustain for the rest of your life doing keto? Throw the question out there. You know, maybe they're really gung-ho and really new at it, and they'll say, oh yeah, I think I could do this for the rest of my life. Okay, cool. Maybe try the workouts. You could do keto with the workouts. Let them see. You know what's really interesting is sometimes if you get people in a group and they're doing the workouts and not the nutrition, or like they're doing the workouts but they're not like drinking Shakeology or using the performance line, and they see your other challengers using it and getting better results, and they will, I'm telling you, they will. Your other challengers are going to sell those people on trying the nutrition and on trying Shakeology and on trying the supplements. Most of the time, you don't have to sell anything. Your other challengers who are using the products will. The other thing I'm going to suggest, if you're a really new coach, talk to your coach about running their group with them, co-running a group, or find a success partner. You can go to the Success Partner Seekers group on Facebook, find another Beachbody coach, work with them to co-run a group, because then you will have a bigger group, you'll have more people in there, you'll have more people using the complete system of products, following the nutrition plan, and that's where you get that beautiful thing happening of your challengers basically doing your sales for you, because you're not convincing anybody of anything. They're seeing those people getting the most dynamic results possible. And well, I mean, not everybody's going to use a performance line and everything like that, but guys, I can tell you, I look at my challengers who use everything versus those who just do the bare minimum. The ones who use the supplements and follow the meal plan and do the workouts get the better results than the people who are just doing the workouts or just doing the workouts in the meal plan but not using the supplements. I see a big difference. a big difference. If you can see enough people comparably, that would be something interesting to see in this group, is people posting their results. I would love to hear, did you follow the meal plan to a T? Did you use Shakeology? Did you use the performance line? I would love to see the differences that we see in people's results, because I have just seen such a big difference in the people who really dive in, all in with the supplements and the meal plan and the workouts. It's much more dynamic. So, in my big spiel kind of way, talk to them about the keto. Don't say it's a bad thing. Share your experience with Time Nutrition. And then, worst case scenario, just join me for the workouts. You'd love the workouts. You can do keto with the workouts. Just get them involved, because the rest kind of falls into place. I've seen that happen over and over again. The time we run into trouble with that is when we go, oh, you can't do keto for the rest of your life. Keto's not good for you. You're going to have kidney problems from too much protein or too much fats or whatever you're trying to say, which, yes, are real problems, but you just can't cram your opinion down somebody else's throat at the end of the day. It's same with people I find that are just like, no, I love the gym. I love the gym. I don't understand those people because I freaking hate the gym. But I'm like, hey, that's cool. I get it. We all love our own thing. Why don't you try Shakeology so that you can get better results while you're doing your gym workouts? You have more energy. So it's just offering which solution can fit into that crevice of their life to make them go that one step further, to kind of just try things out. So that is my suggestion with that. I do have a couple people who were like, no, I'm so into keto. And I get that because I hear that a little bit too. So just don't poop all over their party because they're so excited about keto right now. That will pass. Keto is a fad. Some people will be able to do keto for life. But the problem with like diets is that they're very restrictive, and people often fall off the wagon with them because they're not flexible enough for doing all the different things you can do with food and life and enjoying and all that kind of stuff. The cool thing about 80-Day Obsession is that we have such a variety of foods available to us that we can do all of these creative things with them and not feel any sense of deprivation. I mean, we've all seen people making pizza, tacos, like all the really yummy foods that we like, the carrot cake, all that good stuff. So it's something that gives you the variety and the joy of eating with 80-Day Obsession that a diet doesn't. 80-Day Obsession isn't a diet. It's a healthy way of eating that is sustainable for life. I'm not saying you're never going to have a piece of cake again, because cake isn't exactly on the meal plan, but it's something that you can follow 80 to 90% of the time happily, and then you can indulge periodically and enjoy. So this is something that a diet that just doesn't allow people to do. And that's something that the one thing I do hear a lot from keto people is very fatigued, and the lack of carbohydrates definitely wears on them after a while, as we all know, because think about when we were coming up to the very first refeed. Those like 5 days before the very first refeed day, we were all so exhausted because we had the glycogen stores were like. So that's something that keto people feel because they're not getting a lot of good stuff. I'm not going to crap all over keto, but it does bother me when people are trying to say like something is inherently bad. No food should ever be entirely 100% off limits. One thing I really liked in Shalene's book was, she kind of had her green lit foods, her like yellow, slow down and think about it foods, and her red, really only have this occasionally foods. And I loved that because nothing was ever like, you can never have that or you're just gonna die. Because it's not true. Like food is fuel, but food needs to be enjoyed. Yes, Beatrix, definitely. It is a lifestyle, and it's a lifelong lifestyle. And I think the cool thing about Beachbody is it's that mindset shift. Because I know for me, before Beachbody, which was a really long time ago now, I was struggling with obesity. I was yo-yo dieting and going to the gym and hating it. And it sucked. And I just kept gaining weight because of it, because I burn out, or, you get off of the yo-yo and you're like, you overindulge in something and then you're like, well, crap, blew that. And then you just go on a bender and that sucks. But with Beachbody, it's really about balancing out your life. It's not about restricting yourself or punishing yourself. It's about having fun with your workouts, about enjoying your workouts, about feeling good, about fueling your body right. And that is really exciting. So I think it's just sharing our experience with that and meet people where they are at. That's something I know has been a big discussion this past year in coach conversations. And it's really true. You got to meet somebody where they're at. Not everybody is ready to dive in for 80-Day Obsession when you talk to them about it, but maybe they're ready to do something else. Maybe something else piques their interest. And again, that's the exact same thing with maybe they're not ready for a workout, but they're ready for a meal plan. Maybe they're not ready for a meal plan because they're dedicated to something else, but they're ready to start exercising or incorporating Shakeology or something. People are ready for something most of the time. So it's sometimes a bit of a detective game. This is why it's really important to ask people questions when we talk to them. What are they looking for? What is interesting to them? Maybe that person who loves keto isn't exercising at all and they really need something. Well, great, we've got something for that. We can fit them with something. It's one of those things where, we're going to talk to them and go, I can't guarantee your results are going to be the same without the Time Nutrition because we didn't do a test group with people doing keto while doing 80-Day Obsession. But the workouts are going to build muscle and make you feel better and give you energy and all of that good stuff. It's going to get you moving. And at the end of the day, exercise is never going to be bad for you. So those are things you can talk about in the conversation, things that are going to make them think, because people have to come to the conclusion on their own about choices that they're going to make. So I think that's something that's important to know is like, it's never about cramming opinions. It's really about sharing experiences. And that at the end of the day is going to win you over a lot of friends, a lot of people who are willing to try, who are, going to potentially take that next step. And there's nothing wrong with saying, hey, I know this is something that it's a new thing and you haven't tried it before. Why don't you try, I can get you a 2-week free Beachbody On Demand trial. You can try a little Obsessed. You can read over the meal plan. Maybe you'll decide, no, meal plan's not for me. I'll do my keto with 80-Day Obsession. Or maybe you'll say, you know what? I think I'd like to give that a try full out. It actually looks like something I might want to do. It gives them the options to make up that decision for themselves. And I always like to give people that kind of introductory period before they're making that decision to just read it over, see what you think. And they're going to feel a lot more empowered having made that decision by themselves than feeling like they're just conforming because you want them to. That's always very helpful. Okay, so how would you shift the conversation from general get to know you relationship building to joining a group, getting Shakeology and BOD without sounding like a sales pitch? Okay, gotcha. This is a good question. I am such a big fan of casually chucking it in the conversation. I find most of the time we have to find a way to work it in. Occasionally you get the opportunity where they ask you something that opens up the door to bring it up. So I'm going to go over a couple examples. So first example, somebody you haven't talked to since high school, you're catching up, maybe it's been 10 or 20 years. This is a conversation that's just going to take some time to build. The cool thing about this conversation is you got a lot to talk about, which is something I like as opposed to somebody I talk to regularly where I'm like, I already know how your family's doing. I already know how work is. Like, how was your weekend? Like, it comes down to being a little bit harder, but somebody you haven't talked to in a long time, kind of awesome. So you can go, hey, oh my gosh, it has been so long. How have you been? Maybe check out their Facebook feed first. If you see that they have kids now, congratulate them on the family. Ask them what they've been up to all of these years. You're going to have a good, meaty conversation here. And the cool thing about this is even if it doesn't result in a sale, you've got to have a conversation you would not have had otherwise. Because let's face it, as coaches, we talk to people way more often than we would if we weren't coaching. So we talk to them, we get to know them. You're going to find out, what did they go to college? What did they study? What have they been doing for work? Did they get married? Do they have kids? Where do they live now? There's so much good stuff in that conversation, and you're going to have the opportunity to reciprocate with that. Now, one thing that often happens after you've talked to somebody, because they will check out, like, let's face it, on Facebook, most people are like checking out your Facebook while you're talking to them to see what you've been up to. You can talk about what you've been up to. Throw out that you're a coach as part of your conversation, not the main part of your conversation. Is just something that you've done in the past 10 or 20 years that you're talking about. So you're going to go over your story. Yeah, I went to blah, blah, blah college, and I been doing this for work, and I had kids or got married or whatever you did over the past 20 years. So you reciprocate, and I, also have, if you're a full-time coach, you're going to throw that out. If you're part-time coach, I'm also have this side business I'm really excited about, helping people with their health and fitness journeys. And, that's part of you explaining what you've been up to. It's casual. It's small. It is not the main thing. Now, sometimes people are going to be like, holy crap, you look amazing. It kind of depends, right? Like, if you were a really fit person the last time they saw you and you're fit now, there's not a big change for them to comment on. But maybe you've lost 100 pounds since they last talked to you. They are going to comment on that. So it's kind of just going to depend. If you've got some recent before and after photos up, I highly recommend doing a before and after photo in your profile picture. It just always is a conversation starter. So that's something that's sometimes going to bring it up for you, where they're like, wow, you lost a lot of weight. What did you do? Then you can tell them about your journey with Beachbody, and throw in like hey, I've actually got this group coming up. We're doing XYZ. It will be a lot of fun. Why don't you join me? It's casual. It's just like, oh, hey, I just thought of it. Like, we all know that we're going to bring it up at some point when it fits the conversation, but you can throw it out as if you just thought of it. My favorite way to bring it up in a conversation is, oh, by the way, like, I just thought of it off the top of my head. It feels better for me. It feels better for them, because it doesn't feel like I only reached out to them to invite them. Because if they feel that and you feel that, it's not going to go so well. So that's my big icebreaker. Oh, by the way. So let's say it's somebody you've been talking to recently. You're just catching up. Hey, happy Easter. What do you guys do for the weekend? Catch up on that a little bit. Just tell them what you've been up to. And then you can throw out, oh, by the way, I know you've probably seen me. I've been doing 80-day obsession. I've had so much fun doing it. I'm actually going to be doing another round in a couple weeks. I would love to do this with you. It would be so much fun to do this together. Opens up the gates. Now, they're probably going to have an objection, questions, something after you throw that out. They're probably going to say, well, what's involved? Or, I don't know if I'd have enough time to do that. It looks like you work out all day long. Sometimes people are going to throw that out. This is where we work through our objections with our feel, felt, found. Just moving through that conversation. Get the YouTube video, that 5-minute awesome, like, overview on 80-day obsession. When I'm talking to people, like, I'll go like, hey, what's really neat about 80-day obsession, when they're like, what is it? It's kind of really neat because they made it so it's like working with a personal trainer. So all the workouts are really fresh and they're a lot of fun. Do them in your own home whenever you want to do them. And the nutrition plan is amazing. I've never had more energy. And then I go like, hey, why don't I get you, there's like this really cool overview video. Let me grab you the link so you can get a better idea of what I'm talking about. Because the videos are always really amazing that Beachbody puts together. If you've got your own website, you can, put the video on your website. That's what I have. I've got like a little write-up, 80-day obsession, like kind of a blog thing. And I go, hey, why don't I give this to you so you can kind of read up on it a little bit more to see what I mean and see if it's something that you're interested in. And they inevitably are. Like, 80-day obsession is really exciting. And for anybody who's looking to make a change with their health and fitness, once they look into it, they're like, that's cool. That's neat. Because that's one of the things with, I mean, don't get me wrong, I love the old programs, and I'm the kind of person where I don't care that I've heard Tony's joke 1,000 times before, I still laugh. But not everybody's like that. Some people are like, if I hear that one more time, I will blow my brains out. Those are the kind of people who will love 80-Day Obsession because there's no repeats. This is something that's really new where, you know, if you've got friends who normally work with personal trainers, stuff like that, this is the program for those people where you can talk to them, well, hey, I know you love working with a personal trainer. I get it. Like sometimes when you've heard the same joke 6 times in a row in the past month, it's really annoying. This program is really cool because it's actually just like working with a personal trainer, but without spending all that money that you're normally spending to work with one. Why don't you join me for the next round of this? I think you'd really like it. Opens up the door for the conversation. So just no matter when you're talking to somebody, when you're bringing up the invitation, maybe you don't want to start off with, oh, by the way, but something like that, like, you know, oh, you know what? Enter to it. You know, just something that makes it sound like you just thought that they might be interested in doing that with you. Feels better for you, feels organic. It takes all the weight off the conversation. You don't always have to wait for there to be like the perfect time to bring it up. Sometimes there's a conversation lull. That's a good time because we naturally as humans change the conversation when we hit a lull. We go, you know, because our minds think of something else like, oh yeah, and that gardening competition, whatever, like, you know, whatever comes to your mind. So it's just like a natural way of the conversation flowing into an invite. That's the way to do it and feel good about it. So use that as you're moving through things. The one thing I always say, don't do, the one inviting thing that I generally don't suggest unless they're a current customer who you're always talking to. Don't just flat out send a message without talking to them first that says, hey, I'm doing 80-Day Obsession, you know, April 23rd, you should join me for that. You're not going to get a reply, or you're going to get a no thank you, or not interested, or whatever, because that is really gross. But when we go like, hey, how you been? How was your weekend? What'd you do for Easter? Did you see the family? Show that genuine interest in them, and then they're going to reciprocate when it's your turn to talk about it. So that's something that's really important. Sorry for the squeaky door. My cat's coming in and out of the room. So those are kind of the main things I wanted to cover today, which is just, you know, boldly invite, you know, all week long, you can be messaging people, you know, happy Easter, or how was your Easter weekend? What did you do last weekend for Easter? You've got this really great conversation starter that you can use all week long. Really highly recommend, again, use Clean Week to get people who have never tried Beachbody to commit to a week with you. If they do the week, they're gonna freaking love it. They're going to be more interested in doing 80-Day Obsession because they understand what it's like to be part of a challenge group. They understand how good it feels, and they've already got the sugar detox going on. So they're like, oh, okay, this is the good feeling part. You're going to get them some results. You know, if somebody's like does Clean Week and they lose like 2 to 5 pounds, which happens all the time, they feel freaking amazing and they want to keep it going. And then that's the natural progression right into a little obsessed and then 80-Day Obsession. So put it on your calendar, make it happen. Do a little video invite today. Hey, happy Easter. My gift to you is I'm giving away Clean Week. You know, do that. Do this process where you are use the holiday to leverage your business to that next level. We're coming up to summer. Leverage the fact that people want to look good in their bathing suit. Leverage. When you do get into the conversation about getting into Autumn's group, leverage the fact that, hey, when you're doing 80-Day Obsession this time, you're not just going to get me as your coach. You're going to get our celebrity trainer, Autumn. She's going to be talking to us daily. She's going to be doing a weekly workout with the cast with us live in this group. There's going to be prizes. There is going to be guest speakers. And guess what? It doesn't cost you anything more to get into her group to do this with me, because when you get your challenge pack, it waives the normal cost that it is to be a coach. So this is like the creme de la creme coup de grace wow factor. So use it. Use the fact that getting to work with Autumn Calabrese is amazing. And that will be exciting, right? Like, you got to be so excited about it that they like pick up on your energy of like, oh my God, that's amazing. I need to get in for this. And that will make them really like love the whole journey and feel really special too. And the great thing is, because the cutoff date is the 23rd, you've got urgency behind you. This isn't panic energy. This is, you need to make a decision because this group, you know, after the 23rd, I'm sorry, it's out of my control. I can't get you into that group. And I want you to be in there with me because it's going to be freaking amazing. So that's the thing to use when you're talking to people, is get excited about it, share that passion, get fired up about it. Before you talk to people, always just fire yourself up so that you are ready to just give everything you've got. And then they're like, wow, I need to do this. This is amazing. It's going to make you feel better. It's going to make them feel better. And at the end of the day, everybody's happier once they're doing 80-day obsession because it's amazing. So I hope this was really helpful for everybody today. Keep posting questions if you have them. I will come back and I will check this video like regularly. And I also have like several other training videos I've done in this group, very specific ones to help you get an 80-day obsession coaching group, the next one. So if you haven't seen them, go watch them. If you go watch your team's training videos. There's so much information out there. YouTube. I've said it before. I love Doug Moss's channel where he's interviewed a lot of the top coaches. Go and inspire yourself because there's nothing holding you back but you at the end of the day. And it's sometimes hard to accept that because we're like, and it's like, as soon as we accept that we're the ones that are responsible, we can get stuff done and we can kick some booty. So have an awesome day, guys. Enjoy your Easter and we'll talk again soon. Bye.